Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Buzzing with Honky B. I'm your host, Honky B, and hanging out with me is my good friend, Cushy Koala, doing his thing as always. Well, let's see. Today, we are going to talk about why famous people act the way they do. And it's been clear to me in my 50 plus years on this spinning dirt ball that the reason they act like that is because society has allowed them to act like that. So, when you prop somebody up uh, as some sort of, you know, god or deity or whatever, you start giving somebody power and they become intoxicated by it. And hence they quit caring about the people that made them famous in the first place. You and me. You know, No, and as far as their causes are, especially you, Billie Eilish, nobody could give a furry ride rodents behind what you think. All right, Jesus, go get like a smile lift or something, honey. You look like you just hating the world for some unknown reason. God. Anyway, you know, and then you hear all these, like rock stars and movie stars, whatever, who demand certain things. Like who was it? I can't remember who, but some rock star wanted he wanted an M&Ms in his dressing room, and he wanted all the brown ones picked out, or all the red ones picked out, or he wanted one of the colors all picked out. Let me tell you, us. What's the reason? It just makes you sound an entitled little bitch. That's what it makes you sound like. All right. You know. So I just don't understand this. Another one wanted 12 puppies, and another one wanted high quality PB&J sandwiches. Oh, get the F out of here, you bunch of retarded D-bags. I couldn't work with these people. I really couldn't. The great Ricky Gervais did say it best. Come up here, get your award, thank your people, and get the fuck off the stage. Nobody wants to hear it. Nobody cares. Jesus. And I hate going off about celebrities because it's just not really my thing. But man, when it's just blasted all over the TV everywhere you look, it's just it. Stop letting these people, dictate how you run your life. Right? You are an individual. Your life is not defined by what said actor or said musician or singer thinks. No. Do your own research. Don't be an idiot. You have the power in your hand. You stare at it 24 hours a day, damn near. Use it. Anyway, back to the ungrateful, uh, ungrateful celebrities. I hate to jump off track like that, but it is what it is when you're buzzing. So let's see what else I got written down here. All right, and then you got you got the people that the hardcore fanatic fan that no matter what is said about their favorite character, um, oh, that could never be. It's just they could never do any wrong. Oh, and then you see. I mean, well, give to charity, give to charity. You know who you giving to? You giving to them, right? Yeah. uh, you know, then you got the people who I call the hook, line, and sinker people, who no matter what is said or who it's said by, they swallow the story whole and they run with it. You know, no matter how absurd it seems, you know, but it's uh, I've actually been one of these people, and thankfully I have evolved out of that. Um, you know, yeah. Let's see. And then you got other people. Oh, I knew something was wrong with them all along. I just didn't want to say anything. Yeah. No, you're just another sheep in the herd, buddy. Got news for you. Yeah. And then you got your rabbit hole people who, and these people, some of them, good Lord, some of these people should be kicked off the internet or out of society, period, because they will just start making up lies about what they heard from, somebody on the street or whatever. I mean, is your life that meaningless and pointless that you have to go out and make up lies about things you heard to get attention? And I know what you're all thinking. I know y'all screaming it. People have been going to absurd lengths to get what they want for a long time. And the internet has only made it worse. You know. Then of course you get the immoral journalists who make stuff up, and then when certain people see that, oh, a journalist said it, so it must be true. Society does love a good scandal. I will say that. You know, and people like I guess myself who have gotten to the point where we just don't give a damn anymore. I've pretty much seen all the good movies I'm going to see, because everything in the last, I don't know, 20 years, maybe 25 years, has just been absolute trash. And we all know what I'm talking about. Yeah, woke crap and everything. You know, so if, and I'm not wishing bad on anybody, but if all these actors and singers just disappeared or went and took jobs at McDonald's, I really wouldn't. Hey, I've got all the music I need, right? From growing up in the 70s, 80s, 90s, so forth. I have my classic rock. There is no decent music today, as far as I'm concerned. All I listen to is old stuff. So, I think, I could really care less what these celebrities think or what they had for lunch. And there's a few I'd like to meet. There's some interesting folks out there I would like to meet. Morgan Freeman I think would be very interesting to meet. Denzel Washington, another one. Hey, I'm not gonna sit here and you know, and I feel bad for actors who don't play by the Hollywood rules and then get blacklisted. Because they're not following the narrative of Hollywood. I have way more respect for them than like Mel Gibson. I got I'd like to meet him also. I think, like, just from what I've seen and from what he said in his talks and whatever, uh, I think he's a really smart guy. Uh, yeah, I mean, and like Vince Vaughn. Vince Vaughn is one of the funniest guys. He's got a way of delivering stuff. But I think he kind of got locked into the comedy thing, the comedy role. And then when he wanted to, in my belief, I think he wanted to branch out and do maybe dramatic roles or something. And he wouldn't play by Hollywood's rules. And so you don't see him in anything anymore. The last thing I saw him in was that Mel Gibson movie, him and Mel Wynn dragged across concrete, which I'm not trying to be mean, but I just didn't find it all that interesting. But and there are a lot of celebrities who just deserve the boot. Just get out. You go out there and you shoot your mouth off at these events when you have little to zero experience or credibility in the industry. And yet you want to go shoot your mouth off about stuff your little 19, 20-year-old ass doesn't know a damn thing about because you probably grew up, with a cell phone duct taped to your head. Parents who didn't give a shit about you and who just used you to make money for them. I don't. But you got to remember, the people don't work for you. You work for the people, right? When you decide to go into acting or singing or performing or whatever, you have to make your audience happy. If your audience isn't happy, then they're not going to come back for the second act. So, I mean, I really don't think we're going to hear much of anything from people like Rachel Zegler anymore. You know, yeah, they all go out there and they shoot their mouths off. They think they're untouchable. I got news for you. Nobody is untouchable. Right? It's just the way things are. You know. And of course, they all think that we're just a bunch of mindless morons who would just go, okay, whatever you say, like that that one person they zoomed in on at the Golden Globes after the Billie Eilish F Ice rant, and she said they focused. She's just as brainless and bubble-headed as ever, whoever she is. I have no idea. I don't listen to any of this shit. I damn sure didn't watch the Golden Globes. I get clips. I watch, my YouTubers that I like to watch, and they give me their takes. So yeah, because I'm sorry, I'm just not subjecting myself to that crap. I can't. I've dealt with enough bullshit in my life that I am not going to subject myself to watching a bunch of entitled brats jerk each other off and don't give two shits about what's going on around them. So yeah. There are people out there who need to be remembered, and there's who don't. you know but you athletes and actors and performers, You are paid to perform. Shut your mouth and perform. It's real simple. If your job is reading the lines for a movie script, then do that. If your job is dribbling a basketball, do that. You know, if your job is slap fighting, do that. But nobody wants to hear about your politics and what your thoughts are on the president and everything else going on. You know, yeah, these people are just truly soulless. You know, I mean, here's a tip to any famous individual who feels strongly about a cause and wants people to hear their opinion on it and take them seriously. Take that. That's the key. Take them seriously. Quit your profession or take a pay cut to reflect the average in your area. Well, not in your area because you probably live in the hills somewhere, but the median income household for the working class, right? Let's see, and then you got to go live in that community also, and you have to deal with the everyday shit. Stand by, technical difficulty. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, like I said, low technical difficulties. The suction cup came unloose. And like I said, okay, dealing with the everyday stuff that everyday people have to deal with. Cutting grass, fixing stuff around the house. Actually raising your children, not pawning them off to somebody. That's some nanny. You know, school times, pick up and drop off, holidays, daycare, all that on a medium income salary. Huh? If you truly believe in your cause, do that. And the ones that are paid to go up there and say stuff, whether it be political or whatever, you just garbage. You really are. It's not like you don't already have enough money being famous that you have to be bought. I mean, it's pretty sad. I mean, it's not it's bad. You look at somebody, let's just famous person X, and their net worth is $50 million. They will never have to worry about money. Their grandkids will have to worry about money because they invested right or whatever. And you say, hey, we'll give you 10 million to come speak at this conference or whatever. And if it's something that you don't believe in, if it's something you believe in, then you do it for free. But if it's something you don't believe in, but you go up and do it anyway, and you're just garbage. You need to be taken out to the city dump and dropped off. Well, don't be a spineless whore for money. You have enough. Unless you piss it away like so many other famous people have, and if you want to take the money to do something, if you take the money to go up there and just spout off a bunch of BS that you don't care about or believe in, eventually the truth's going to come out, and you will have to suffer consequences, whether that be a loss in fans, which would mean a loss in revenue, And it's you know, you have to deal with the backlash like so many people are dealing with right now. And especially in Hollywood, if you get labeled as a problem actor, you know, nobody's going to want to deal with you. Nobody's going to go hire you for a project. Nobody's going to, because you're a liability, right? Because you have shot your mouth off so much that nobody wants to come see you, especially when you talk like an entitled spoiled brat, you know. But and it's not just you that have to deal with it. No, I mean, if you got kids, grandkids, nieces, nephews, stuff like that, your actions carry over into their lives as well. Um, you know, going on social media and spouting off a bunch of rhetoric, and then let's say your niece goes to school and gets beat up over it. You know, I mean, a lot of bad things can happen. You know, yeah, but these famous people don't have to worry about the ramifications of what's going on. This is Speedy, by the way. He's my little buddy. Um, so yeah. Yeah. I mean, if uh, you've been in Hollywood or if you've been in some kind of celebrity status for X amount of time, you've built up your wealth, you've invested properly, you saved, you have a huge nest egg. If they start pushing stuff on you that you don't want to do, man, or ma'am, whoever, retire. Go live in the countryside or on the beach or wherever you got the money to do it. Okay? Pack up and leave. The same thing I can say for the rest of the people, for all these protesters out there. You don't like it here in America? You think America is such a horrible place? Move. Matter of fact, I can guarantee you, uh, the president will pay for your plane ticket to leave this country. He might even set you up with a little money to start off with. All right, but you can never return to America ever. Oh, but they don't want to do that. Yeah, I didn't mean the video to go on this long, but you know how it is when you bug. So, what I want to get into some bitch. Un momento, people. Un momento. Yeah, also, like, they just stop oil protesters. Okay. You, you, you people have got to be the dumbest individuals I have ever met. I've ever seen. I've never met any of you idiots, thankfully. But y'all have got to be the dumbest bunch of protesters I've ever witnessed on TV. All right? You're protesting oil. So, you want to protest? Protest all you want. One, you cannot obstruct public passages, though. People still have to get to work. They have to go to the grocery. They have to pick up their kids from school. It does not give you the right to stop them. But if you truly want to, if you believe in getting rid of petroleum altogether, then get rid of your cell phone, your laptop, any electronic devices you have. You need to get rid of everything. Give everything away, not take a penny back for it, right? Give it all away, all of your clothes, and go live out in the mountains and fashion yourself some clothes out of branches and leaves, right? And live off the land. Learn how to hunt, learn how to catch fish or whatever, and you live out there, right? But all the signs you make saying just stop oil, where do you think they come from? The sign fairy? Whoa, just stop oil asked for a giant 16-foot sign saying just stop oil. There it is. No, it doesn't work like that. No, 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 no. No. The machines that are turned on to print, these signs. One of the signs are plastic, which is a petroleum product. But two of these machines could not run without lubricant, also a petroleum product. So the clothes on your back, on the shoes on your feet, the cell phone, that's another thing. You want to protest the people being exploited or whatever? Get rid of your cell phone, because you know where all that cobalt comes for your cell phones and computers and everything. Look it up online. There's 7-year-old kids digging in a pit in where the hell is it? The Congo, I think it is. Mining for this stuff. He's cranky because he's not in his bed. But yeah, so you people with your causes, they thinking that you're gonna stop something. All you're doing is you're pissing off a lot of people. All right. To the point where nobody listens to you anymore. You become the boy that cried wolf. And we all know that story. And for you young people who don't know that story, which I'm sure most people under 30 probably don't know that story. The boy who cried wolf, he was a sheep herder. He's up on a hill. Village is down below. He's bored. Sheep is just sitting there eating. So he decides, wolf, 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 help, help, help. Bunch of people run up there with, pitchforks and axes and whatever, and he laughs, ha, 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 I got y'all. Yeah, I'll go back down. He does it again. They come running up again. Ha, 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 I got you again. The third time he does it, there's an actual wolf going after his flock. And he starts yelling and screaming and hollering and hooping, help, help. And nobody comes. Boiling it down to, you've gotten so absurd, with the throwing paint on art, which that paint is a petroleum product. So is the game, man. The morons who super glue themselves to the street, I say leave them. You did that. Now you have to deal with the repercussions of it. You're not going to get city services to help you. No, you came out here on your own free will and super glued yourself to the road. It's pretty much your fault. I hope they send you a big, massive bill. And then on top of it, after they get you unstuck, I truly believe you should do some jail time for misuse of emergency services, disrupting public order, blocking roads and stuff like that. And I'm not talking about put them in some local jail for 6 months. No, drop their ass in someplace like Angola, Louisiana State Penitentiary, one of the got the reputation for being one of the roughest prisons in the U.S. You know, drop them off. There you go. 22-year-old white kid who doesn't know shit from Shinola. These are called consequences. The problem with a lot of these people, there are no consequences for their actions. There need to be consequences. There needs to be jail time. All right? If, you know, telling you now, if I was chief of police somewhere or sheriff, I got word that there's 20 just stop oil people out there all linked on together, blocking the road. How many deputies do I got? And how many can the surrounding counties spare? And I'm going to go over there. We're going to whoop a little butt, and then we're going to put them all in jail. And, you just keep doing that. You drag them off. You don't handle them with kid gloves. No. You skull drag them a little bit. I'm not saying that's what I would do, but hypothetically, somebody might think of some stupid shit like that. But but they should really do serious jail time and made to pay hefty fines. No, no, I know I'm rambling. So, I don't know. Is it bowl 30 yet? Let me look at that time there. Oh, see, it's 12:45. It's close enough. Anyway, I hope y'all have a good day and try to be nice to each other. Peace, love. Just if you got nothing else to do today, do an act of kindness for somebody. Hold the door open for somebody. Just do something nice for no reason other than just do something nice, and maybe that will spread. I'm Honky B. Thank you for watching, and y'all have a wonderful day.